Under the Consumer Rights Act 2015, George has clear rights and potential remedies concerning the purchase of the second-hand mobile phone from KK Ltd. The CRA applies to contracts for goods, services and digital content, and it aims to ensure fairness in transactions between businesses and consumers. Key issues. Misrepresentation of the phone's condition. The phone was described as nearly new, but it was actually 5 years old. This breaches the requirement for goods to match their description under Section 11 of the CRA. Satisfactory quality. Under Section 9 of the CRA, goods must be of satisfactory quality, considering their description, price, and any other relevant circumstances. A phone that catches fire clearly does not meet this standard. Fitness for purpose. If George made KK Ltd aware of any specific purpose for the phone, and it failed to meet that purpose, this breaches Section 10 of the CRA. Safety and personal injury. The phone causing injury is a significant breach of the CRA and raises potential liability for personal injury under the Consumer Protection Act 1987. Rights and remedies under the CRA. Right to reject, also known as the short-term right. George has the right to reject the phone within 30 days of purchase if it fails to meet the Consumer Rights Act standards, such as description, satisfactory quality, or fitness for purpose. The remedy for this is a full refund of the purchase price, which in this case is £320. Right to repair or replacement. After the initial 30 days, George is entitled to request repair or replacement under Section 23. If repair or replacement is impossible or disproportionate, George can escalate to a price reduction or final rejection. Final right to reject. If a repair or replacement fails to resolve the issue, George can reject the phone and claim a refund. However, the refund may be reduced to account for any use George had from the phone. Damages for personal injury. Under the Consumer Protection Act 1987, George can claim compensation for third-degree burns caused by the defective phone. He may recover damages for pain and suffering, medical expenses, and loss of earnings due to the injury. Liability of KK Ltd. KK Ltd is liable for supplying the defective phone under the CRA. The fact that the phone is second-hand does not remove their obligation to ensure it matches its description and is of satisfactory quality. The company may seek recourse from the manufacturer, but this does not affect George's rights as a consumer. Advice to George. Well, George, it's important to gather all the evidence you have regarding the defective phone and the injuries you sustained. Document your medical expenses and any loss of earnings. Consider seeking legal advice to ensure you get the compensation you deserve. Remember, your rights as a consumer are protected. Contact KK Ltd. Notify them in writing about the defects and the misrepresentation. Demand a refund, repair, or replacement under the Consumer Rights Act, depending on the time elapsed since purchase. Seek compensation for injury. Pursue a claim under the Consumer Protection Act 1987 for damages related to the burns. Consult legal assistance. Given the severity of the injuries, George should consider consulting a solicitor to ensure appropriate compensation is pursued for personal injury. Mary's position. If Mary is affected indirectly, for example, emotional distress or financial loss from caring for George, her remedies would depend on the circumstances. However, she may not have direct rights under the Consumer Rights Act unless she was a party to the transaction. She could potentially claim under personal injury law if her involvement is significant.